Hey guys, Garrett again. I wanted to talk to you about a little bit about swapping turbos on multi-fuel engines today. There are some specifics that a lot of guys aren't aware of, and it really doesn't matter necessarily if you're putting this giant ass turbo on. It's kind of rare. A lot of people aren't going to want to run this anyway, but there are differences between the other turbos on these two that are the same differences, so to speak. First of all, these are a twin scroll housing. Okay, you've got two separate exhaust runners that are smaller, one for each exhaust runner from the engine. So no matter what stroke you're on, you're always going to have one exhaust pulse pushing on the turbo. It is important to use the proper gasket, especially if you got it in a standard transmission vehicle. That way you don't get cross flow, which eats efficiency and raises EGT a little bit. The multi-fuels are all a T6 exhaust flange housing. Let's see, I think this is a Marmon flange actually, but this is not going to apply to most of you guys because you're just going to be running either a C Whistler turbo or a D turbo. This is, what is this? 3L354. Anyway. That's not the big deal. The big deal is the ancillaries to the turbo. The oil drain tube and the oil feed tube. This is the D turbo and the oil feed and drain tube, so you can already see a little bit of difference. This is the oil drain tube that came with the big turbo, and this is the non-separated. I guess they didn't think it mattered as much on the D turbo, even though it's a twin scroll housing as well, because it's a much smaller housing. It should spool easier, but still, run the proper shit, people. You see the difference here in the oil drain tubes, okay? Because the turbine housing and all is larger, it changes the angle of everything. So if I didn't have this proper drain tube, and if I didn't have the proper oil feed tube, the one on the bottom is the one that came with the big turbo, the oil feed tube itself will not clear the turbine housing, or the impeller housing, whatever you want to call it. It won't clear. So when you get a different turbo, and this is even true between the C and the D turbo, they do have a different oil feed line. The drain tube is the same between the C and the D. That's not a big deal. And the intakes are the same size. Everything else is the same size on the C and D. Except I think one of them has a small adapter for the exhaust. But the oil feed tubes between the C and D are different. So if you're changing turbos, like if you go and get, grab a turbo off of a spare parts truck of somebody's, make sure you get your oil feed tube and your oil drain tube possibly, and if there's an adapter for the exhaust, grab it as well, because you're going to get it home and you're going to go to bolt your turbo on, and you're going to put your feed line and your drain line on, and you're going to get it almost done, and something's not going to fit, and you're going to have to try to find it and then try to order it, and then you're going to have to wait 3 or 4 days or a week to get it, and you're going to be pissed off the whole time because you don't have your truck, because you didn't grab the one piece that was right there when you pulled the part that you should have. So grab everything that goes with it while you're there, if you have the opportunity. If not, then you know what you need to look for ahead of time, because you saw this awesome video that I made, because I thought of you, because I like you guys. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.